Hello, hi, morning everyone. All right, so first and foremost, thank you for having us in today's session. Of course, thank you to Dr. Yuko, Dr. Shatar. So for today, we are going to discuss about the quality assurance in an AI-driven world. But prior to that, let me introduce to you our panelists. Over the left is Dr. Yuko Takahashi. She's currently the president of Japan University Accreditation Association. So she is our partner. We have an MOU with them. And on my left is Dato Professor Dr. Mohammad Shatar bin Sabran. He's the Chief Executive Officer of MQA. So just to share with you, MQA is the only quality assurance agency here in Malaysia. All right, I think before we kick off straight to our topic, why not maybe Dr. Yuko, maybe you can address or share with the crowd what is actually JUAA to the public. Yes, please, Dr. Yuko.
The JUAA stands for the Japan University Accreditation Association, the JUAA. In Japanese, 大学基準協会公益財団法人大学基準協会です。And I'm president of the JUAA and also president of Tsuda University 津田塾大学の学長でもあります。The JUAA was established in 1947, right after the war, and it was established in order to better higher education in Japan, to make Japanese universities better by volunteers. So it was a private institution to start with, so it was independent from the Ministry of Education and also the Japanese government. So it was not affiliated with. It's not affiliated with the government.
So since then up until you were mentioning about volunteer, so until today, is it like Japan institutions still volunteer to go for accreditations or?
It's still independent institution from the government, but now in Japan, every 7 years, any Japanese must go through the quality assurance, so that it was mandatory. It became mandatory in 2004. So since then, but before then, even the JUAA was conducting quality assurance for Japanese universities on a voluntary basis, but because it became mandatory now, so we have to do a lot of quality assurance work.
Okay.
Basically,
yes.
that's what we have been doing
Until now.
But right.
Yes.
But we are so proud of this long tradition because it was voluntarily established to make higher education better in Japan, and it's independently conducting our
accreditation work.
Right.
All right.
As an agency.
Okay. All right, Dato, maybe some brief about MQA in Malaysia. I don't think we are since 1947, Dato. No, we are not.
Okay, thank you very much. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I think we have like few representative from Malaysian private institution. I think the Vice Chancellor, also the team. They are one of the among the most popular private institution. I'm sure they are keen to learn something that coming from Japan. Also, we have like some audience from the Japanese representative. So of course, we are very young compared to you. Definitely, we are very young, but not even like 30 years. So, but again, the difference between we and you, basically we the only one that are doing all this accreditation and quality assurance of higher education. I think that this forum is quite interesting for us because maybe we can learn from each other. That like Japan is always advanced, it's almost everything. So probably by having this discussion, we can learn something from you, and also for the benefit of my colleague from Malaysia and higher institution. So maybe that will be good for us, especially when we are talking about AI and when we are talking about the element of humanistic that being focused from the Japanese. I think we're really keen to learn from your experience. That definitely, that since 1940 something you said?
1947.
Yeah, I'm sure that, you have went through several stages. That probably that one also is very useful for us to learn as a new guy in the block.
Doctor, I mean, since the establishment of JUAA and looking into higher education institutions here in Japan, I believe that when we talk about the interventions of technology, previously I think IR 4.0, and then now currently the disruptors is the introduction of AI. But we truly believe that in Japan, the ethics and those humanistic values is the main, I would say, one of the main priority in Japan. So how actually in terms of the quality assurance perspective, how actually you balance the technology, but yet the humanistic must be there? Yeah, how actually?
Okay, we don't have a set standard in terms of using AI in Japanese higher education when we go through the quality assurance work. But Japanese universities are increasingly utilizing AI to visualize and assess student learning outcomes, for sure. While the Japan University Accreditation Association, or the JUAA, does not currently have evaluation items or set standard specifically dedicated to AI. But under standard 4 education and learning, we assess how ICT-based teaching methods and learning support contribute to improving learning outcomes. Building on this ICT perspective, the JUAA is closely monitoring the effectiveness and actual use of AI. Going forward, it recognized the need to develop guidelines and indicators specifically for evaluating AI in higher education.
So the evaluation in you do the assessment and evaluation is still not through AI, right? In JUAA, no.
No, we don't have the set guidelines
Don't have,
like
yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe we have to ask.
Like to learn what kind of guidelines you have set,
Yes.
MQA set for AI usage in Malaysian universities.
Yes. So maybe Dato, yeah. What do you think?
It's very interesting. I think I'm happy that my colleague from private institution is here. I mean, back home, we're always looking at Japan. It's always something powerful, advanced in almost everything, including AI. I think as I mentioned earlier, I think a couple of weeks ago, we were in Cambodia. We have an Asahil meeting more than 20 different countries were there, and then Japanese were there too. So one of the things that we discussed was talking about AI, and then I was telling him that we had this so-called faculty of AI in Malaysia, and he was so surprised because we didn't have that one yet in Japan. And then he really keen to learn how we setting up things like that. So again, back to this question, as you said, you haven't have so-called a guideline yet about AI, but even in Malaysia, we do not have a proper program standard yet. But to make things moving fast, what we did was we produced this so-called AI guideline, so that we give some sort of guideline to the university who are having the interest to run the AI program. So with that guideline, and of course we are moving toward a program standard later on, then program standard also we are moving towards as a program guideline, so that we give some sort of flexibility to the universities and higher institutions to run this show, because like we cannot come up with a formula saying like one size fit all, because AI is something is very fast changing thing. So that's why we are going to provide a guideline. I think like being the vice chancellor and the team from UCSI, maybe something that you can pick up this point. Even the Japanese, they are still working on it. I think like maybe you can see we are a little bit, not saying far advanced, a little bit ahead of in terms of AI in the world. So I think we want to take advantage of that, to show to the world that we are doing this and we are a little bit part of it, but maybe we can learn from each other how to come up with a proper guideline. And the other thing that I was really like to discuss a little bit, because even though we have all this so-called technology, but you always include this so-called the humanistic element. So Prof, we see Prof Hanisa just now in Japan, they were saying like two basic things for their student. Number one, the skill of writing and the skill of reading. They put so much focus on that, but because of this AI thing, chat GPT things, like those two skills might be disappear from the society. I think we also need to pay attention to that problem. We do not want to produce like society with all this, like on paper they are so smart, but they do not have the skill in writing and the skill of reading, and of course plus the skill of critical thinking and problem solving. I think something that we need to incorporate. We're not going to reject the AI, we do not want to reject this technology, but at the same time we need to focus on what you say, like the humanistic part in our syllabus and curriculum.
So in terms of syllabus, do you have in Japan that incorporate the AI in the syllabus?
Yes. For example, at my university, at Tsuda University, we value teaching writing skills both in Japanese and English, and also reading skills both in English and Japanese. So from the first year students to junior year and senior years, each student is assigned a certain writing assignment. But if a student asks AI to do her homework, then she can gain her writing skill. And also if she asks AI to read her reading assignments, to give her a summary of the essay or even novel or even plays, she cannot get the reading skills. So that's we have been debating, because we still believe that teaching how to write, for example, topic sentence,
Yes.
paragraph writing, and papers organization to write a research paper. That's what we teach in the beginning, from the first year to second year. So if a student uses AI to do her homework, what can we do? We cannot teach them the most basic, important academic skills. Later on, she may be able to use AI to summarize whatever she needs to read if she doesn't have time when she is working for a company or for a government. But as a student, she is in the process of learning how to read, how to write, and if she depends on AI 100%, those important academic skills are not cultivated. That's what we are most concerned. That's how so each university recognize the importance of AI usage. So we would like students to handle how to use AI effectively, but at the same time, we should not forget how important it is to cultivate those academic skills. So that's our dilemma of AI.
I think it's one interesting part when you mentioned, probably I think we as Malaysian, we can pick up this. That's why I think like as at MQA, what we are now working on is the evaluation part. How are you going to evaluate student of their achievement? Of course, like if we are evaluating them just purely based on the result, the report, whatever the writing parts they're being sent to us, that's something that we have to relook, because if they are using all this AI to come up with the report, project paper, whatever, and we evaluate them, we give a grade based on that, that is the problem is going to arise in the future. So maybe we need to see how to evaluate this kid. Okay, you can have all this report and all this, maybe the presentation part will make the difference whether this product is really yours or somebody else is going to do it. Because during the presentation, during the discussion, during the argument, the element of critical thinking, problem solving will pop up. Then if I depending so much on this so-called AI to come up with a nice project paper, and definitely I cannot argue during my presentation. And I think the universities probably have to look, and of course as MQA, where we are really concerned about the quality of a higher education, that probably need to be incorporated in terms of the evaluation. So that's why when we come up with this so-called program standard or program guideline of AI, these are the things that we're going to make sure will be included, so that we do not want the student that being produced under this era that having all this technology. At the end of the day, as what you said, you're scared, they do not know how to read, they do not know how to write, and more importantly, they do not know how to have problem solving skills. So when they go and work with the government or private, they will probably fail in that area. So then probably we cannot produce the best generation in the future.
Yes. The attractive part is that Dr. Yuko mentioned just now that as quality assurance body, they still suggest and cultivate universities. So that brings me up to maybe just to ask Dato that what do you think, Dato? We have heard a lot from higher education institutions. The standards is sometimes limits them to go more flexible. So is MQA doing something? In Japan they are very flexible, I believe. They are encouraging students to use AI, but flexibility is given. So what do you think? What can be done in Malaysia?
Of course, like nowadays, I think the entire nation, we are like, even the Minister of Higher Education is focusing on the flexibility. We are no longer believe there is the only way how to evaluate things. So I think like if you ask me as a MQA, I think we have university. I want to give that as much as flexibility given to the university. Let them decide what is the best for the student. But for us, what more important, that evaluation can reach the outcome of the program or the course and so on. I think like today we have a news somehow being discussed heavily in the country, coming from one universities, do not have to mention, because they are changing the evaluation, continuous evaluation, a final exam thing. Then the student didn't agree, they were getting mad, they were pushing the management to go back to the old ways. So this is one of the things that we need to convince the society based on what your argument, assessment of the student achievement is not just purely based on one dot. They have to see continuously, to see they are really, really good. Because if we are putting at the final exam assessment, for example, then student will not going to bother what's happening for the previous one. So as long as I can score the final exam, I can pass, I'm done. So those are something that we have to relook. So I think I want to give the flexibility to the universities, and university can probably suggest to us, this is the best way. For me, if they can convince us that by having this way of assessment, they can achieve the objective of learning outcome, program outcome, whatever, I think I'm okay with that. So I'm not going to come up with this, a specific guideline, the very rigid, this the way how you're going to measure your student. If you do not follow this, then you're not going to pass. So of course the challenge that I have, I also need to convince my assessor, my panel, so that when they go and assess the university, they know exactly what is the culture, what is the norm that we are holding now.
Oh, nice. I think that when Dato bring up the assessors in Malaysia, is when we go for audit, for example, programs and so on, we do have an external assessor with us representing MQA. So how about in Japan? Do you have assessors that also join you doing the institutional audit, like an experts together?
You mean AI?
Human. I mean, human. The physical professors, doctors, they come together with JUAA and do the assessment. Do you have that in Japan?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think so. But for the important part is for a quality assurance system to be relevant to the times.
Yeah.
It must be flexible and adaptable to technological developments, inclusive to meet the needs of diverse learners, adhere to the principles of ethics and fairness, and have ongoing dialogue and collaboration between educational institutions and quality assurance organizations like us, right? Based on these foundations, a system must be in place that can be balanced the benefits and risks of AI utilization. So we have not formed a committee member of ethics in terms of using AI yet. But this is what we are thinking.
So indirectly, Dr. AI still cannot replace the collaboration, right?
Right.
Between the QA agency. We still need to do this, we still need to discuss, we still need to engage, right?
We need to share our knowledge and our experiences and our guidelines and our, principles and policies.
Yeah. So Dato, will AI replace our panel of assessor?
No, I think I have to agree with you. I think no matter how advanced we are, the human touch must be there. I'm not saying that I do not trust the technology, but the technology for me as a tool, but the one who's going to interpret the tool is the human being. So they can measure exactly whatever appear on paper, but the real things on the ground must be interpreted by a human being like us. So that's why I think no matter how advanced the society is, the needs of the assessor, the human being, must be there. The only thing that we need to do to them, basically, to give them training, a proper training, understanding, to understand the real thing, what is AI is all about, how AI is doing their job, and how we human being need to do the job, because these two need to be matched, so that is need to help the agenda of the particular country, because Malaysian agenda probably a little bit different from Japanese agenda, but that need to be incorporated in the assessment. Using AI, for me, I'm looking at as a tool. As I mentioned, AI, now we call it AI, maybe by 2030 something else pop up, maybe the names is different, so that could be another tool. So that's why, but the humanistic part is still remain no matter what year we are talking about. So that's why these two need to work together. They need to be friends. So, but they need to have a win-win situation. We use the AI as a tool for the benefit of us, not they use AI taking us for the benefit of AI. So the other way around.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. and Dato, I think before we conclude our session, maybe there are some last words from Doctor to all of us regarding our topic today.
AI is something that we cannot ignore.
Cannot ignore,
But we don't want to be controlled by AI, like you were saying. And still, our academic skills, basic skills, are very, very important. So we should not be run over by using AI. We need to still cultivate our students' basic skills such as critical thinking,
problem
analytical skills, readings and writing skills. Those are very important academic skills. Not only academic, but as a human skills.
I think I will go along with that too. I think that's why I like Japanese. When I think remember like a few years back, the whole world was so busy talking about IR 4.0. Everywhere people talk IR 4.0, and suddenly Japan came up with IR 5.0, and we were asking, what does it mean? We are focusing on the human part. So you see how you are looking, you always like looking something far ahead. So the same thing like this one, and people talk so heavy talking about AI thing, and suddenly you're talking writing skill, reading skill, which happen to be the basic thing for the human thing, become your focus. I think something for Malaysia, we need to learn something from you, so we will take all those technology that coming at the same time. The basic thing need to be there. I have to agree with you, the basic thing is a human thing, the humanistic element. That's why in the Japanese cultures is so popular all over the world, because everywhere you go, you are advanced in technology. Everybody knows that. But at the same time, your humanistic values is being clearly translated by your own people. You go to any stadium, World Cup, you are the one who collecting the trash. That is the values. Never happen in the world. You come to this country, you hardly to see any single trash. And I saw all the staff that working for this expo, they're standing under the sun, standing alone, even though there is nothing happen around it, but they still stand. That is discipline. You will never find anything in the world, only in Japan. So how you inculcate those values, that's something that we need to go through, and we need something to learn from you. Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So before we conclude, on behalf of the Ministry of Higher Education, we would like to thank Dr. Yuko, came all the way from Tokyo for this session. Thank you so much. Great. I think with that, of course, we have another maybe later topic to be discussed. From the discussion. Oh yeah, before I forget, this session is also recorded and will be streamed live in our podcast channel. So again, thank you so much to all of you, and thank you again to Dato and Dr. Yuko. Thank you.